Hello and welcome to today's interview with Sthanunathan, who is the Executive Vice President of Consumer Market Insight at Unilever. This is a brief introduction to the video, which is going to be divided into two parts, and I'm introducing the first part right now. Stan's going to be talking about the 7 trends in marketing research that he introduced some 4.5 years ago, and we're going to do a review and see how well he scored on his predictions. And after that, the second part of the interview, which I'll post in another week's time or so, will be a review of his book, which is Artificial Intelligence from Marketing and Product Innovation. Hope you enjoy the interview, and let's jump right into it. Good afternoon, Stan. You're in London. I'm in Vancouver. And just to introduce you, of course, you're Sthanunathan, the Executive Vice President at Unilever for Consumer and Market Insights. My name is Steve Hamilton-Clark. I used to be in the market research industry, and thought we'd touch base today to talk about market research trends. And we met 5 years ago almost in Dubai, where you presented at SMR some 7 trends that you saw happening in the market research industry. And thought it'd be a good idea to touch base again and see, hey, how good was your crystal ball and where are we going with these trends? Yeah. So the first one I think that you had was go mobile or lose mobility. Where were you on that, do you think?
I think that trend got realized almost 2 years ago, I would say, when the number of people accessing internet via their mobile overtook the number of people who use desktops and other laptops to access the internet. So mobile has become a way of life today. And more importantly, even in market research, the proportion of market research surveys done using mobile has kind of shot through the roof. So that prediction turned out to be 100% right.
Yeah.
The second one was all around big is not always beautiful. To me, this is less of a prediction, more of a philosophy, I would say, because there is this massive fascination for big data. I'm not saying that you should not go after big data, but at the end of the day, we also have to realize that we are marketing to humans, and therefore having a deep, visceral understanding of consumers is as important as understanding the numbers behind that consumer.
Yeah. Yeah.
So therefore, we have to keep in mind that, don't lose track of this relentless pursuit of, in the relentless pursuit of big data, don't lose track of the human to whom you are marketing. Yeah. The third one is, go social or you become anti-social. Yeah. This is again, I'm not a rocket science to predict that one. Social media is really transformed in a big way. Oh my God, I'm sorry. You have to stop here. Wait.
May I have your attention?
There is going to be a fire alarm.
Yeah. Well, that's okay. I mean, do you want to continue? Is it a serious fire alarm that you have to take care of?
No, this is a fire alarm test.
Oh, okay. Well, I'll put it on pause for a second then. So here we are again, Stan, we're back. That was an alarm to tell us that go social, anti-social is definitely something that needs to be paid attention to.
Absolutely. It was, it created a storm. It created a fire.
It created a fire.
I think, the whole social media explosion, with Facebook covering, more than 2.2 billion people on the planet, and WhatsApp, you name it. I don't want to go through all the list of platforms, but I think it's become way of life. The amount of time that people spend on social media has actually become unhealthily long. In fact, so much so that, now when you open an Apple with the latest app that you have, when you go and open the machine, it tells you, where does it go? Yeah, it tells you how long I have spent on the screen today. And it says it is 30 minutes below average today. Yeah.
Very good, Stan. Well done.
Yeah. Oh, sorry. It just refreshed. It says 1 hour, 47 minutes above average.
Well, we better make this talk pretty quick.
I've been looking at the screen for 4 hours and 38 minutes in the day. So I think, that's a level of time that people spend on social media. Yeah. And the bigger thing is, people are talking about you, but not necessarily to you. And therefore,
Yes, that's a nice subtlety.
almost all the questions that any marketers would have ever had have been answered by people, but not necessarily in the context of the question that they had, but in a different context. So therefore, mining social data is going to be a thing, and it's become big. In fact, within our own company, we have taken over that as a big source of insights as within the company. And then the next one is biometrics, the new mainstream.
Yes.
Spot on actually. Neuroscience was quite, in its growth phase at that point of time, which is good. But now neuroscience has become mainstream. Facial coding is now part of quantitative study, believe it or not. So biometrics has actually become mainstream, and people don't even bat an eyelid if you talk about eye tracking and facial recognition and so on and so forth. It's absolutely mainstream. And customer is king or emperor. Yeah. Uh, it is, when I say customer, I would talk about it from two different angles. One is, the customer to whom you market your product to, i.e. the retailers and so on. The other one is the customer who eventually buy the product, i.e. the consumer.
Yeah.
The power of creating brand has actually moved clearly in the hands of consumers now, especially, everyone with this one of those devices has actually
control.
A media person, and they can say what they want. They can express their opinion very clearly, and that can move the world. You just talked about, you put something on social media and you got 8,000 hits. That's the power. None of us are Tom Cruise or any of those kind of celebrities, but we are able to touch 8,000 people, and then suddenly things go viral. So I think that in today's world, that is much more important than what it was 5 years ago. So that prediction was spot on. Tell impactful stories or lose impact.
Yeah, this one I'm particularly interested in because that's a whole different story, isn't it? No pun intended, in terms of the ability to tell stories.
Yeah, the ability to tell stories. I think, what has happened is, over the last few years, not just 5 years, but maybe a decade or so, everybody's facing an influx of data.
Yeah.
There is data abundance. So if you have an interesting factoid to tell people, they would turn around and say, I can Google that myself. Yeah. A lot of the facts that, we thought were really interesting tidbits of information, it is there in public domain. Therefore, the whole journey from, the what to the so what to the now what has actually become incredibly important. The so what is all around, storytelling, because if you cannot inspire and provoke people to actually take a big, bold action, then what's the point of the data? What's the point of the data? And that's where the whole notion of storytelling, I'm just looking at it, I've been attending ISOMAR Congress for a fairly long period of time. My first one was back in 1991.
Oh.
So that kind of dates me. But then having said that, I'm looking at, I attended the last one in Berlin. And when I look at the quality of story that is being told and how that has transitioned over a period of time, I'm truly, truly impressed. Presenter after presenter after presenter, they came and they were really doing a fantastic job of presentation. And it was really, it's not a good dog and pony show, but it is a really well told story. The key to success in this lies in the fact that people are moving away from the belief that my presentation has to be data filled. Yeah, they are now moving to a world where it is data based, but it is not data filled charts.
Interesting.
And that is actually making a massive difference to the way stories are being told, because people are not interested in looking at a morass of numbers on a screen because they just get tired after some time, because they see so much of it today. But I think a good storyteller always arrests the attention. So that's certainly happening, and it's wonderful to see that the whole industry.
Yeah, that's very encouraging, because that's a difficult skill to take on board.
It is a difficult skill, but I have never seen such a seismic shift happening in the industry as a whole. So it's good on people who have all, really risen to
the challenge
and really delivered. So that's a good piece of news. And then my last one is integrate or you will disintegrate. This is again a big wake-up call for the industry, because we were all masters in techniques, and therefore we willy-nilly created silos. So I am an expert in this kind of technique, and I shall do the world's best work in that kind of technique, and I'll tell people about what kind of outputs and what kind of action they need to take. I think that is becoming a little less relevant today. Yes, techniques are important, but actually people are sitting there and saying, do I really care? Again, it goes back to the what and the so what and the now what. Yeah. So what do you want me to do? And the moment somebody asks you, so what do you want me to do? Then they're asking you a business question. When you're asking a business question, you don't have an option but to connect all the dots around you and tell a holistic story. And therefore, that is requiring people to integrate data more so than ever before. And fortunately, technology today allows you to seamlessly integrate data. And therefore, your ability to integrate in the background has gone up, and therefore people's skills in terms of ability to integrate.
And how well is the industry done in that respect?
I think the industry is doing a really, really nice job. I can see, the so-called competing agencies playing the sandpit together when it comes to delivering a solution for a client, which to me would have been an unheard of thing 5 years ago. But today they realize that, look, it's about, telling a good impactful story. Let's work together. Our business will come. And
so it's almost collaborate or disintegrate now, isn't it?
It is more like, and they are collaborating big time. And I think the industry has really listened to that. Yeah. So I think, so as you can see, 7 on 7.
Yeah, 7 on 7, Stan. Well done. And that marks the end of part 1 of the interview with Stan. Thank you for listening. Stay tuned for part 2, where we'll be talking about the future of market research and the role of artificial intelligence. Until next week, bye-bye now.